Hello everyone and welcome to the Excellent Subscribers channel. I am International Master from Romania, Alexander Banzia. I am 20 years old and I am making educational chess content just like that one that you're about to see. So this video is going to be about the London system and it's going to be featuring one of my favorite games of the London system, which, you know, to the surprise of many people, it's quite an old game played between Kovacevic Vlatko and Hans from Maribor 1980. But the thing with the London is that it's such an evergreen opening that even though, you know, old games can be very instructive even to this point. So you will see what I mean in a second. So the game starts with d4. We have knight to f6, knight f3 by white, d5, and now bishop to f4, which is the starting position of the London system. e6 by black, knight b to d2, c5, and now we have e3, bishop to e7, c3, short castle by black, and bishop to d3. So in this position, black went for knight b to d7, which is not the most common move. Knight c6 is by far the most played move in that position. But okay, I mean, it's still very interesting to see how white played. I mean, against the knight c6 move, I already have a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel. I have a separate playlist about the London system, so make sure to check that one out if you're interested for that. So let's focus to see what happens on knight b to d7. Because you're about to learn an idea that might just be doubling your win rate with the London system. Because, you know, the London is known to be as an easy way out to develop your pieces, and some people have the wrong mindset when playing the London, which it should be an attacking opening. So white is playing the move h4, and at first it looks like a little bit of a random move on the king side, but I want you to pay close attention to what's happening next, because white is building up a really nice initiative. So black goes b6, very logical way of simply trying to finish his development. And now white goes for the typical London jump, knight to e5. And now black play the move knight takes on e5. So by the way, just to remember you, these players are both rated 2500. So I'm not sure if they are grandmasters, but they have grandmaster ratings. So this guy is really strong at their time. So this is by far, I mean, not a gameplay between amateurs. So black decided to take on e5 here. Against bishop to b7, something like queen f3 would have happened with an initiative coming by white with g4, g5. So let's focus on what happened after knight takes e5, pawn takes, knight to d7. And here you can try to pause the video and try to find what white decided to play in this position. Because this is so instructive and you could take by surprise so many of the black players on the black side of the London. And white went for bishop takes on h7, which is the Greek gift, and it's such a powerful Greek gift that you can do even without having the knight on f3. Because after king takes, queen h5, king g8, you can go knight f3. And the point is that black has no good ways in defending this position. So here black went for rook to black played f6. What would happen if he goes rook to e8? Then you want to go knight to g5. Knight to f8, let's say, to defend against h7. You want to pick up the f7 pawn. King h8, and now rook to h3. You want to bring the rook into the attack. So after something like queen to d7, simply go queen h5, king g8, and now knight f7. And white has simply the threat of going rook to g3, and then queen h8, and with mate on g7 to come. So this is just lost. After rook h3, let's say black tries bishop a6. Then you want to go queen h5, king g8, knight f7, attack the queen, queen d7, and now after knight h6, king h8, you can simply bring your rook in the game with rook g3. With the same threat of going knight f7, queen h8, queen g7, checkmate, so black is lost here as well. So yeah, I mean, knight f3, what happens if black goes for f6, which is what it seems to be the refutation of white's Greek gift. And here comes the surprise, because white goes knight to g5, And this is a little bit counterintuitive at first, but white is sacrificing 2 pieces, trying to force a direct checkmate. So the main point being that after, you know, white is simply threatening to mate on h7, so you have to get rid of that knight, and white takes with the h pawn. So now the idea is not really to just go queen h8, because the king will try to run, but you want to play g6, take away the f7 square, and then the mate on h8 will be unavoidable. So in order to stop that idea, the black players are trying to play rook to f5, so if you go g6, the queen will obviously hang. But rook f5 was played in the game, and also queen h7 is leading to a winning position shortly after king to f7, g6. Now he has to go on e8 because king f8, queen h8 would be a checkmate. So king e8, queen takes g7, bishop to f8. Now a very strong move by white, queen h8. Avoiding the attack of the bishop, plus threatening to go g7, create a new queen. We have rook g5. And here you shouldn't really go greedy. If you're going bishop takes g5, then after queen takes, the pawn is not going anywhere and black will end up on top. So you don't want to go greedy, but you want to instead focus on the activity. So queen g8, the main point being that queen f7 is threatened, and also rook h8 or rook h7 comes on the agenda. So we have the move knight takes on e5 in the game. If rook f5, simply rook h7 with queen e6 next, and white is simply winning. So knight e5 happened in the game in this position. After queen g8, we had the move knight takes e5. Now we have bishop takes. Important again, do not go greedy. Do not take that rook, because after queen g5, black is going to capture the g6 pawn and will manage to defend himself, and will even have a better position. So you wanna eliminate the knight. Why do you take the knight and not the rook? Because you want to take the knight because it's defending f7. So you're getting rid of the key defender of the f7 square. So now in the game we had the move king to d7. Black tries to run for his life because white is threatening to mate. Queen d7 or queen e7 would fail to rook h7, and then the rook comes on the 7th rank with the same queen f7 idea in mind, and black will simply lose the queen next. So bishop takes, we have king d7, but now rook h8 comes in really strong, threatening to even take the bishop, or to play queen f7, or to play g7, all kinds of threats in the position. So we had bishop b7 in the game. If black goes and takes the bishop, then g7 is the problem, and after rook g5, you simply go queen f7. This is the most accurate, and then pick up the bishop and get a new queen. So after rook h8, we had the move bishop to b7 in the game, queen to h7, very accurate move. What is the point? Why not queen f7? Because on queen f7, he simply blocks with a queen, plays queen e7. So the main point when you're going queen h7, queen e7, you can try to pause the video, find white's winning continuation here. It's a really beautiful move, and it's just forcing the outcome of the game. So in the game, white played bishop to f6, forcing the queen to take on h7. So rook takes, king to d6, bishop takes g5. White is up an exchange, and with g7 to come, and then rook h8, white will promote the g pawn and have a rook advantage. And black decided to, you know, resign in this position because there are no other hopes for him. So yeah, I think that is a really important idea. If you're trying to master the London system, keep in mind this h4 idea and this whole combo combined with knight e5, pawn takes, knight e7, and you don't want to give your opponent time to defend, because if you're going for a move such as knight f3, he might play h6 and you no longer have that bishop takes h7 move. But you instead just take on h7 immediately, and you're giving him no time to you know, escape. Queen h5, king g8, knight f3. So far so good. Everything normal, but on f6, keep in mind that knight g5 idea, which is the game changer. Sacrificing the knight, always take with the h pawn to open up the h file, and then the idea is to play g6 and then mate on h8. So yeah, this is a very powerful combo for white. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you feel like you learned something new, make sure to check out my YouTube channel. I guess the link will be in the description of this video. And again, big shout out to Antonio for having this interesting initiative with the channel. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care.